Hey, come here. I want to tell you a secret about success. Listen carefully to this. This is very, very important, but very few people ever talk about it. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate and lead and inspire. And I've been in my quest to gather more knowledge, be in a position to explain things a little differently from different perspectives, because there are only so many different basics to success. It's not that complicated an issue, but it's difficult sometimes to convey the premise to people because they don't get this, they don't get that, and sometimes you have to approach it from different areas. So I've been doing a lot of reading on this. I found a great new source for what everyday people are thinking out there, and I've been cutting clips, some of their things, and I want to share them with you. And today, the focus, and this is going to be kind of a two-part series on time management and energy management. That is a key thing. You know, Dan S. Kennedy said, and I'm quoting here, "Productivity is the deliberate strategic investment of your time, talent, intelligence, energy, resources, and opportunities in a manner calculated to move you measurably closer to meaningful goals," unquote. Once again, that's Dan S. Kennedy. Basically, there's three different areas I want to attack today. One is focusing on individual goals, having a singleness of purpose. Because when everything is important, nothing is. Another one is one lesson that you learn from experience is often more powerful than 100 concepts that you learn in theory. And the third, if you wish to be more visible in the world, you need to do a lot of invisible work. So first I want to focus on managing your energy and not necessarily your time. What kind of a person are you? We're all different. You know, one of my, the love of my life from college was not a morning person, and she was a night person. I, on the other hand, am very definitely a morning person. I took morning classes. I mean, in college, a lot of people, well, I don't have my first class until 1 o'clock, I get to sleep late. I, on the other hand, my first class was at 8 o'clock every single day, by choice. That you have to adjust your schedule to who you are. So I'm always trying to do the hardest and most valuable items that I need to get done first thing in the morning. Energy management will force you to think of the results that you have to get done and not necessarily the time you're investing. Working intensely for a short period of time, you can accomplish more than working for days when you're tired and you're distracted. Let me give you an example of that. Have you ever found yourself where let's say it's Friday, and then following that day, that's the last day you're working before you're going on vacation? So what have you done? You've made a mental list of things that you have to get done during that day. And usually the list is that long. Okay, so, and then somehow, some way, you always manage to get that list taken care of. So when you're super motivated, you can get things done in a shorter period of time. Using the same scenario, you're going on vacation, you have to prepare, you have to pack, you have to get all your documents in a row, you have to, plan on somebody getting your mail or picking up the newspaper or things like that. Somehow, some way, when you are super motivated, you find a way to get those things done. So how do you want to go about doing that? Well, first of all, you want to find your most important task. And when I say most important task, I'm going to give you an honorary degree. And this honorary degree, easy for me to say, is from MIT. Your most important task. Do your most important task for the day first, tackle it right away. Your MIT should be the one thing that creates the most impact on your work and on the results you want to get. Now, what are some of the things that, I don't know, prevent people nowadays, and then people that are younger, and I was guilty of this as anybody else, but not anymore, from doing their most important tasks, from hitting the ground running? Well, if you don't get out of bed quickly upon waking, if you just lollygag around, if you spend a half an hour or so poking around on your phone before you get out of bed, are you really making the most out of life that you want to make? Think of that habit. Once you awake, get up! The day has begun. Be excited. And sometimes people are just so concerned about things that can happen that it prevents them from achieving. Because whatever catastrophe you're secretly hoping one day will wake you up, to the life of your dreams, here's what you're going to find. You have to engineer that yourself. You have to knock over the first domino. Knocking over the first domino is on you. That is a key point. Don't wait for circumstances to get you into a position where you're successful, because the circumstances are never going to come. You make your own circumstances. Another thing is, once again, talking about singleness of purpose. One of the words that you should be using very often, and I say this with love in my heart, is no. A couple of examples. A no to alcohol. You want to minimize your choices. All right? If you have, smaller choices, as a salesperson, if there's a car salesperson, when somebody comes in, they like the car, and you say, well, would you like it in red? Would you like it in green? Would you like it in blue? You're giving the people choices. What does that do? It clouds the thinking. Minimize your choices. By saying no to alcohol, it saves you from choosing over 1 million drinks. You say no to side projects. You want to be focused on your career. What else can you say no to? Well, things like junk food, gambling, binge watching TV, and it's not just, the bad habits. Sometimes good things keep us from doing something that we want to do. Pleasing your boss with a late night assignment, taking on extra jobs instead of launching a YouTube channel like I did here. Whatever keeps you in the safe, smaller, evil zone might be a drag on your truly alive time. Now, sometimes that feels temporary, but if you don't change it, it becomes permanent. Things that you repeat, 3 or 4 different times become habits. As an example, let's say playing video games. You play a video game, for an hour, and then you expand to 2 hours, and you're doing it every night. It's now become a habit, and it's not a habit that is something that's going to move you forward. So take a look at your habits. Take a look at the things that you're doing. Every yes that you say, it makes a no to 1 million other different things. So you want to choose the things that you say yes to very, very carefully. The number of yeses that you say gives you more choices. Choices are good, but you want to narrow them down so that you can focus. So you want to be very, very generous when you say no. All right, so let's quickly go over the 3 things that I wanted to focus on here. When everything is important, nothing is. A lesson that's learned with experience is often much more powerful than 100 concepts that are learned in theory. And if you wish to be more visible in the world, you have to do a lot of invisible work. Next time we get together, I'm going to give you a blueprint for you to maximize your time by focusing on what's important. I'm going to show you how to do it. And because we will never end a meeting on a philosophical note, let's all get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.